And welcome back to the Dad Experience. We are going to do a run with the Primalist Warrior, arguably the strongest warrior build now that they have nerfed axe into the ground, and at least until they fix weapon damage builds, which we know that they have mentioned they intend to do very shortly. But for now, spell power is still king, and this class really takes advantage of that. So I really shouldn't have this point of whirling axes here, but it's not making too much of a difference for me. If I dropped it out, it's not going to be able to get me any of my higher tier things here. Mostly, I care about this tremor strikes. All of this stuff is useful. Warcry is great. I want to be able to benefit from attack speed, move speed. I could potentially drop some Warcry and just use it for the healing component and get more health or higher killing spree, but I kind of like the balanced setup for it right now. My gear is just whatever I could cobble together for some blues. Want to try to make myself have good armor. I got a spell power cape here. Some cooldown reduction. Yeah, I'm trying to just do some caster and defensive stuff. We're going to try to wade through the middle of things. Got a pretty good chunk of vitality here at 65. My mana is pretty low, but I don't intend to spend a whole lot of it. And then I've got my strength cranked up. And you'll see why I don't intend to spend a ton of mana here. With the drinks, I'm actually taking the reduction in cooldown because I want to be able to, if I need to, I want to be able to heal myself pretty regularly. All right. The ambitious adept because I want spell crit chance, even if it increases my spell mana cost. I have a suspicion that the extra damage on my auto attacks from the class ability is considered spell chance and has a spell crit chance of its own, which is also why I'm taking sudden death. Normally not so great of a choice on a lot of characters. Plus 50% spell damage, awesome. And then you lose a portion of your health based on the mana cost of the ability. So I have a lot of hit points. I don't have a ton of mana. That's not going to be as detrimental to me as it would be on if I took double-edged, which causes you to lose a percentage of your current health. When you've got a lot of hit points, that percentage of your current health, that really hits you. But in this case, since we're not going to be spamming spells, this won't do too much to me. And the benefit should also affect my... what's that called? The Tempest Strikes. And we'll be sure of that by checking out one of these here. So I believe it's the $123. Okay, so 123 is the amount of damage that our Tempest Strikes are doing. If I'm correct here, then as soon as we go in here, we're going to be doing more than 123 on our first Tempest Strike swings. Taking Blessing of Protection, I plan to get into the Mucky Muck, take Far Sight. We will take... Yeah, we'll reduce traps just because I hate dealing with them. And I like a treasure room, so that's looks good to me. Let's give it a shot. New game +1. Let's see if we can wade through the Mucky Muck. Now let's see here. What do we got here? These guys actually have armor, so it's hard for me to tell what values. But it seems like I'm doing significantly more damage already. Saw a 300 damage crit in there. That was not a number I was obtaining on the dummy. See, health regen per stack. We like this Glacial Strikes because it is an explosion, has a short cooldown on it, but that short cooldown is not smaller than our auto attack. So it should sync up with things pretty well here. Already you can see that with the build, I can basically stand in the middle of stuff. So showcase that. I'll go ahead and grab this piece of gear here, but for the most part, I'm not going to care about that very much. One of the other things I decided to do on all of my caster builds lately, I have been dropping combo off. That's a pretty popular strategy right now, considering that the combo takes up potential upgrade slots when you pick up a purple orb. And combo does not scale so well into the higher new game pluses. Now, I'm only at new game plus 1, so the scaling, it's not so bad at this point with this class that it's useless. And I am actively attempting to put myself right in the middle of stuff, so I will be getting basically the maximum possible benefit. Oh, nice, the Gambison. Maximum possible benefit from combo. You know, taking the upgrade that is actually going to make me shoot out the little combo waves. So this class, at least from what I can tell, I still benefit from that, and so I've decided to keep it. We got going. Anything down here? That's just a potion. Care about that. We've also got a pretty small number of potions. This guy. What do we got here? Gauntlets of Prowess. Spell damage. That's pretty slick. Yeah, man. Let me check and see what I've got in spite of that. We're also going to be using totems. Very, very powerful. What do I have right now? I have spell cooldown and mana. This is going to do spell damage. Increase my lightning damage. That's pretty cool. I will keep what I have for now. The spell cooldown means more opportunities to heal myself. I took the second wind ability right off the bat at the magic shop just because I want to be able to have a heal. I mean, those totems, yeah. I mean, this might as well be a shaman class, you know, and I will be presenting this as a shaman build. Primalist drops totems. Come on, how are we gonna not recognize that that's like a tanky shaman? Reminds me of the old days in early classic WoW when there were completely viable ways to run a Tauren tank shaman. Ace and shield, whole deal. Don't know that it was the best idea, but it was possible. What do we got here for our second upgrade? Lightning damage, yeah, or the combo upgrade. I like more Tempest Strikes. I mean, we're gonna make cold and lightning damage. Very much playing into the shaman build. What do we got here? Drums of Battle. See, I like the idea of the cooldown. I won't be using it nearly as much, but I'm going to take it anyway because it means I can pop two abilities really quick back to back, and then get myself a haste. If I just want to, totem and then throw some axes. Now I kind of have a reason to chuck some axes every now and then, so I can give myself a haste. Y'all just eat some totems. Get wrecked. Watch this, guys. Watch. Totem. Stomp, 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 stomp. Come here. Yes. The gift that keeps on giving, man. Slap, slap, slap. The damage from those totems is not inconsequential. It's significant, especially over time. We will go. I mean, we don't really care about getting allies, but I'll go ahead and snag them. Fight my totems. I've asked. All right. I'm not going to be super meticulous about finding trap doors this time around. Maybe when I get to the next, let's see what we got. Weapon speed and move speed, I dig that. Sanctified water, I also dig that. That's a tough one. I'm going to take the move speed and weapon speed just because I think it's going to help us clear quicker. And even though I've got increased attack speed now, it doesn't, it's not hitting the past the internal cooldown of the tremor strikes. So, you know, one school of thought for tremor strikes is, one would say, you know, why aren't you taking, in order to maximize those extra damage on your swings, why not take something like daggers, double daggers that swing really, really fast and go all in for attack speed and proc that as much as possible. Not really care about the weapon damage from the daggers, but the fact that you are swinging super fast continues to proc that ability super fast. Why aren't you doing that? There's an internal cooldown on that tremor effect, and that means what you want is a weapon that gets as close as possible. What do we got here? Take 1 second. Chance to freeze, intimidating weakness. We're going to take the health regen per stack. The health regen is another, you know, viable way to get stuff back. It's not as good as the upgraded war cry, which we want to find those. Anyway, so what you want to do is to get a weapon speed that is going to be close to what the internal cooldown is. I believe the internal cooldown is once every 0.25 seconds. I'll check and see if it'll tell me on the tooltip here. It is to effect cooldown every half second. Okay, so I do not know. I believe that because it says effect cooldown, it actually has a cooldown, that it's going to be benefited by anything that grants you reduced spell cooldown. Okay, so if you have, you know, 50% spell cooldown, now you're going to take off theoretically half of that cooldown time. So now you're going to be able to get down to what's that? Quarter of a second, 0.25. And so you want to think about the fact that as you're going through a build, or going through a run, you're going to be getting some stuff that's going to increase your attack speed and stuff that's going to reduce your spell cooldown. You don't ever want to get to a spot where your weapon speed is far outweighing the cooldown on that internal effect. What I have found is that getting a daggers build, and you get a few speed items on your you know, weapon speed, and you're not, every time you swing, you're not being able to proc one of those tremors. So that means there's kind of a waste there. You know, anytime you've gotten to the spot to where every swing will not proc it, you've unbalanced yourself in the direction of too much weapon speed. So for the moment, it seems that the single-handed weapons, nice quick single-handed weapon, is the fastest way to do it. Or the best way to do it. I tried the Dirk as well, that typically, let's see, it's 10% spell damage. Yeah, man, we like that. We like that all day. Yeah, I tried the like the Warlock style Dirk. Still, again, too fast. Having many attacks that were not proccing the Tempest because it was just too quick after I got a couple of items. Or I should say, especially after I got. You're getting, you know, a couple of attacks out there. What do we got? What do we got? Calling axes. I don't care about axes. I will take some combo. Now look, the damage for the combo, 42. So not a whole lot, okay? I recognize that that's not a whole lot. At this level, it's still about a quarter of an auto attack. And there are things that have large enough hitboxes that when you get the higher rank of combo where you're firing like 24 of the missiles out, you can actually hit multiple times on the same target. And so at that point, it starts to become a good benefit. I mean, it's at least a worthwhile addition for AoE, for clearing out an area. Is it great? Is it better than, you know, getting some of your abilities a bit faster? I would say once I get to New Game Plus 2, no, it's not good enough. They need to make combo scale either off of honestly I think it should scale off of weapon damage, and then they need to make weapon damage scale better some way off of strength or something like that. But I think that it would make the most sense if they had alternate options rather than just alternate options for how you can combo or how you can trigger the combo. They need alternate options for what the combo does. So maybe they make one option that is designed specifically for melee, like what we have here, and it shoots in all directions because it's designed to be wielded by, what do we got here? Some cast speed, some fire damage. I mean, pretty cool for Paladin, I guess. So a combo like this style here, it fires in all directions because it's designed to be used by guys who are getting straight into the mucky muck, right? But like the Ranger, for instance, doesn't care as much about all of those waves that are firing out behind him, because if you're playing the Ranger right, you're trying to huck stuff from downfield and kite. And so a lot of times the arrows that are firing off in all directions, you're only benefiting from a few of them. Interesting. So I like the weapon attack speed. I really do. But the Hypnotic Flute is the second piece of the Minstrel's Encore, which I absolutely love. More cast speed and closer to getting that reduced spell cooldowns, which we want. That's going to make us be able to get our attack speed up and still be proccing the trimmers like all the time. Whoops, almost forgot this. So if they made a regular combo, that the one that we have here, fires in all directions, scales based on strength or weapon damage or whatever, and then that would be good for strength-based classes. And then they could have another version that you could choose in town at the combo guy, the guy who changes your way of triggering. You can add another feature that says your combo type, and make one for the Ranger that fires out a wider wave, but it only fires in the direction that you are facing, and so maybe even a little bit more rapidly. So it could be something useful for someone that's trying to just huck them straight downfield, boom, 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 and then make another one that scales based on spell power, and make it have a different type of wave use as well. Maybe one that's like a cone where it starts out. Let's take a look here. That's really nice, reduced damage, but we just really like cranking up our Tempest Strikes. So make a combo that starts out really small and narrow and dissipates over time. It becomes like a cone and it widens out, and at its smallest point it actually does the most damage, and then as it widens out it reduces in damage. Pretty cool shield here to give me some hit points if I needed it that way, and have it scale on spell power, because in that scenario a mage really does not want to get somebody close to him. And so the guys that are right next to him, he can turn and face that guy and have his combo whack that guy in the face at its tiniest and most compressed damage amount, and it would be good for a last resort situation. Get them off of you. Let's check the map here. Not really caring so much about cracks, but I do see one right there, so we'll keep an eye on that. We will go up there for them. Okay. And then maybe one more that scales based on spell power, that rather than shooting out combos in all directions, it just does a pulsing wave near you. That, you know, maybe only goes out about twice as far as my trimmers are. And that would be a good option for a spell power tank build, you know, like a divine paladin or whatever. You're still going to be able to get in the mucky muck, but you're trying to maximize on spell power. Something like that. I mean, if spell power is scaling with strength, you still on a paladin are going to stack strength. That's a different argument altogether. There's a lot of contention or issues around the concept of strength just basically being the weakest way to build. Like, if you want to make a high damage warrior that just kind of shreds through stuff at higher new game pluses, currently the best way to do that, and it just doesn't seem right, but the best way to do that right now, from what I'm hearing, obviously I'm not super high new game plus myself, so reading stuff and what I'm hearing, is to actually stack a buttload of dexterity so that you can get enhanced weapon crit chance and crit damage, because armor gets nerfed to the ground anyway by new game pluses. What do we got here? Shock totems. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll take shock totems. So it doesn't matter how much you stack your strength, you cannot outscale the degree at which new game plus is tanking your armor. So you're not going to make a build at high levels that is going to stand up and take the damage in the face. You have to create builds that are doing enough rapid damage that you're not getting hit so often. And I imagine you probably, in addition to that, also have to kind of play cleverly, maybe corners and stuff to stop ranged attacks from gimping you. But yeah, that should not be that way. I mean, I'm okay with the idea of like a rogue, you know, stacking dexterity for maximal damage and that being the way to play. But come on, a high level like berserker warrior, the best way to play them is to treat strength like a dump stat. That's a design flaw. And I think Crackshell understands that. They are listening. I said it on my last video. I'll say it again just in case you guys don't know. If you didn't read the last patch notes, they made a comment at the very end which said, "We understand currently the community acknowledging that weapon power and strength builds are underpowered, especially when you get into higher new game plus, and we are working for our next patch to resolve that." So they're going to have some answers, hopefully. Ooh, tough choice here. I like getting more potion charges, but I can't not take the soldier's uniform on a tanky character. I super love the soldier uniform set piece. And my last run, I've never got the full 5-piece, and I couldn't understand why. I was trying to count up all the items. I can always get to 4. Well, the 5th one is an epic item. And it's a really nice one. It gives you 50% parry and lets you parry in all directions. Finally, for the first time, found that last night. Found a couple of new magic items. Was one, I was running my wizard, and it gives you 10 MP regen, which is already pretty nice. And then a fraction, I think it's a quarter of all of your mana costs goes back towards healing you. That's pretty slick. because I had a lot of cooldown and was just churning through mana like crazy. Currently, my highest new game is the it's my evocation wizard. It stomps, it slaps on a level that I can't get anything else to. I love sorcerer. I love the ice build, fire build, lightning build. All of them is amazing. My only problem with the sorcerer is the last level where stuff gets so crazy. Second here. Spending 75 mana. See, I don't spend a lot of mana, so I don't like that. Chance on hit. Yeah, I want to grab all of these here. Ectoplasms. Because those... correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. But from what I know, and I have not, like, theory crafted this, but the damage that comes from those items, any damage that comes from any item, is scaled based on spell power. So even if you take those little things that add like 5 extra damage to each of your auto attacks, stacking spell power is going to make those things do more than just the 5 that they come out with. You have increased damage with melee skills. That would be my auto attack, right? Let me see. Is this considered a melee skill? The passive, your melee weapon attacks. So I believe melee weapon skills, that's only going to be the damage, the physical damage from your auto attack, which I don't, I mean, it's something, but I'm not caring too much about that. I'll go ahead and take the extra combo for now, recognizing that in one more New Game Plus run, it is going to be obsolete. Unless they change it. Got off topic from what I was talking about and have now since forgotten it, but it is. ADHD, right? Passing of light. Good one, that was. Look at that. Yeah. There is still something, you know, really fun about the archetype of just standing in the middle and wrecking stuff. You need to fix that. It needs to be viable. Ooh, crowning achievement. That's great. I would also like to see in the future, I know that there are some of the Warlock Summoner builds you can make good use out of in New Game Plus if you like cheese corners and stuff like that. But I personally think that the AI mob mechanic for summons is pretty weak and sloppy at the moment. I think that it should be more aggressive rather than having to come and catch up to you and then engage the things that you... Let's take a look here. Boo, 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 boo. I can take Frostbite totems but lose Gambison. I don't like that. I will just take the combo kills. At this point now, combo is no longer going to be in my repertoire of skill possibilities. So, don't have to worry about it taking up my other options. Yeah, I'd like to see AI either become just naturally more aggressive, you know, seek out targets in front of you. I know that can be problematic because there are times when you don't want your little homies to go start fights. But if, you know, let's say they made it so that if you used your whip ability, using your whip ability causes all of your summons like to leap in that direction. And they leap in that direction and become super aggressive for a second right afterwards. That could cause you to kind of like, you know, you've got your crowd of homies, and the fantasy is like you're cracking the whip and saying, whoosh, go get them, boys. And then they all kind of like jump in that direction, maybe do one enhanced damage attack. Make it a possible like upgrade option for the whip, which changes it. Just a one option, and it'll say your whip damage, the base damage of your whip is reduced by 50% or even 70%. Make the whip itself all of a sudden become dog water. But now it causes any summoned allies that you have to... Ooh, we've been taking a lot of Shadow Curse. Any summoned allies that you have to leap in the direction that you whip and do an attack that does some extra damage. I recognize that from a coding perspective, that's a big ask. I mean, the mechanics of your homies, your mobs, I think are basically set upon the same type of AI mechanics as the in-game mobs are. And I guess there are some skeletons that have a little charge attack ability in the game, so maybe the makers of the game would be able to reuse that charge attack animation and make your little imps or mobs, your little homies, do essentially the same charge that those one skeletons do. But we're taking some damage. Need to get some combo going here. The great thing about the warrior, here we go, is stacking a lot of hit points really matters on him. And you might say, well, yeah, having a lot of hit points is good for a paladin as well, or any tank, really. Well, there's a reason why it's even better for a warrior to have a lot of hit points than a paladin. A paladin heals a flat amount, which I believe may be boosted by spell power. Pretty sure that would make sense. But it's a flat amount, and that amount has absolutely no correlation to the amount of hit points that you have or any of your targets have. Makes it really good for being, it's a team healing ability. So if you're trying to heal your wizard homie who has, very few hit points, then your heals are going to, they're going to restore a significant chunk of his hit points, if not all. Whereas if you have a whole bunch of hit points as a paladin, you throw one of your heals, it might only, restore a third of your hit point pool, maybe even less depending on how much you have. A warrior, here's the thing, a war cry ability, that extra skill that you get which makes it heal you, is based on a percentage of your max health. Okay, so right now I've got 1,000 hit points, and I've only got the first rank of that. We've not been very lucky. We haven't found the second rank of Warcry heal, so it's only giving me 10% of my max health. So that's, it's a decent little thing. But right there, you just saw I healed for 104 hit points. That's okay, not anything crazy. But when I get the third rank, and now it's doing 30%, well, that's a 300 hit point heal, and it's only going to get better if I find more hit point items, right? And so this heal that we have here, it for sure 100% does not scale based off of spell power, which you can see I have 1,040 hit points, and if I use the ability right here, boop, I get 104. I have spell power on this character, but it did an exact 10% of my max health, not improved at all by spell power. So if paladins are improved by spell power, I would have to check. I would assume so, but if they are, that makes them, you know, that's a unique mechanic to them. Fire damage, I don't care about. Inflicting weakness is pretty slick. Spell crit chance and spell weapon damage with my killing spree. That's nice. We're at level 20. I can benefit from being completionist and killing everything. I still have technically 5 levels I can gain on this guy. $50 armor. Yes, we like those dragon scales. Those are slick. 50 armor. We'll go ahead and take that. Spell and weapon crit damage. Cool. Another one of the dragon items as well. Oh, it's great. What do we got? We got another ruin, relic, and a purchase. Get wrecked by the totems. Yes. Yeah, man. Amulet of Vigor. I want this guy to get a few more levels. Once I get a few more levels into him, I'm going to respec a bit, so that I have enough left over to attune to a few key items. I feel like item attunements on this class will be really, really beneficial. I mean, Codex of Power attuned would slap on this guy. Absolutely slap. And then Amulet of Vigor as well, getting an extra 100 hit points and mana. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. Remembering that every time you're upping your hit points, you're effectively increasing your healing effect. So 100 extra hit points with rank 1 of your Warcry heal. That's, you know, it's only 10 extra hit points, but 100 extra hit points when you get that up to 30%. Well, now you're looking at an extra 30 on your healing. That's... What do we got here? Santa Time reduces spell cooldowns by 50%. Kills will have a 2.5% chance to reset all of your cooldowns. Wow, okay. I like that. Wow. So, boys, are we just gonna, like... Are we just gonna go nuts with totems? Is that what's about to happen? Okay. See, weakness decreases damage dealt. So the enemy's gonna do less damage. Armor penetration is for... Yeah, let's go ahead and, you know, reduce enemy damage dealt. 20% less damage. It means, you know, when we need a heal, it's obviously because we've taken some damage. We need the damage to kind of slow down and get a chance to kind of get back on track. I really wish I could see if, you know, what the impact of reduced cooldown would be to each ability. I wish I could look at the tooltip here and see this affect cooldown as it is multiplied by whatever my current spell cooldown is. Crackshell, please let us see that math. I don't want to have to sit here and like theory craft for several hours just to be able to understand like a core mechanic of the game. Let us see the math. Because if that's the case, then that item that I just got would be something that makes all of a sudden daggers completely viable. 50% extra cooldown? Or, yeah, I mean, I just cut the time in half that I have to wait. I mean, I can effectively throw out twice as many of those trimmers now. I'm already Okay. Weapon crit. I like this. I like this. Weapon crit damage, I don't care so much about. So, just gonna take the items because I like that attack speed. Oh, but no, look. Whack, boom, whack, boom, whack. I am now, every other swing, I am no longer proccing that. So, I am quite sure that what that means is that the internal cooldown on the Tempest Strikes ability is not at all being impacted by reduced cooldown. That is good to know, because I mean, I've tested this before and been able to get to the spot where, you know, every other swing was not proccing it. But that was not with that epic item that is giving me 50% extra cooldown. I mean, that's massive. That's too bad. I mean, I would like that cooldown to affect that ability. Because if it did, we could do an elemental auto attack daggers build and stack the heck out of cooldown and weapon speed and proc those like crazy. But look at this. Look at this, though. Yeah, we're gonna spend some mana, whatever. This is fun. It's not crazy damage, but what are they gonna do to me? What's it gonna do? I don't care. Do. Yeah. It's a tank, man. It works. For the sake of, you know, making tank builds work, I also think that it would be great if we could make totems draw aggro. If they had hit points and were targetable and enemies had to choose whether to attack them or not, that might make this class more of a viable tank option. From what I'm hearing, the scaling on multiplayer is whack. I've only played single player, a loser, a loner. I have my family. I don't have friends. So I haven't seen that impact, but from what I hear, it is quite brutal. Traps! We don't care about traps. Yeah. It's, we really need the upgrade of that, we need to upgrade our war cry. Bad. Bad. Yee! Yee! War cry again. War cry again. I mean, I need a way to get some more mana. Mana crystallizer would be nice. I can heal a lot. I mean, war cry again. Oh no, war cry. Here. More totems. You there. Fight my totem. Yeah. Shock. And so, when you compare this to what's being able to happen currently on spell power builds, like what my mage can do, it's not enough. It's not comparable. I have to get inside the mix of things to be able to do this kind of damage, okay? And my mages can huck it from downfield, right? I've got a pretty good amount of spell power on this guy, and you know I'm doing some damage, whatever. But I'm already like I die too fast. It's not the opportunity reward Come on, can I please get my upgraded war cry? It's not, man. They don't like me. The risk versus reward of playing a tanky style character, as the game currently stands, it's not really viable. They've got to do work to that to let us do the tanking class fantasy. Heals cost no mana. Okay, well, everyone, we are now Oprah with totems. You get a totem. You get a totem. You get a totem. I know I have a limit of 4, but, you know, whatever. You get them. Yeah, you compare this to what is possible from the Evoker, and it's not comparable. Yeah, okay, so I drop 4 totems, then the damage starts to play, right? Okay. Now we've got an area that sucks for the enemies. Yeah. But it's not... And look at all the amount of time that took. I could have dropped meteors and then like 14,000 magic missiles in half that time. I don't know. Still, as it stands, I mean, they massacred my boy, the whirlwind, and so that's just, it's not in a good place anymore. I don't know if to them that's working as intended, and they plan to leave it there. They don't want people to really rely upon weapon abilities. Currently, I think weapon abilities are too weak. They're not good enough. I'm going to try my next video. My next build is going to be centered around the marksman ranger, because I hear that if you've got a lot of attack speed, you can actually hold down your attack and then spam your weapon ability, the thing that's kind of like the snipe, you know, you charge up and you hit it back. You basically don't care about the charging element of it, and you thread it in between your auto attacks. And apparently it's able to make you kind of, you know, blast through stuff. So I want to see if that's real. I want to see if that's a viable thing. But for the most part, like on my mages, okay, I don't use those wards. The weapon ability off of, you know, your offhand thing. I don't use it. And currently, like staves, the two-handed caster weapons, I've not found any way to make that viable. I mean, the main attack is going to be based off weapon damage, which doesn't scale. You have to consider the opportunity cost of using your weapon instead of your... we don't care! Instead of your spells. I mean, I could understand it if they made these staves like every time you hit an enemy with them, you recovered a sizable amount of mana. So then, you know, it's not about doing damage with the staff. It's about using them when you know, blow through your mana pool and then use your staff for a little bit and get it back, then go hard again. That would make sense to me. But currently, there's no build that makes staves, the two-handed magic staves, make sense. I mean, they should be giving the two-handed magic staff ability, whatever that extra skill is that you get to use, that should be treated every bit as powerfully as one of your class abilities. I mean, you're giving up that second slot for it. That is actually stats, so they're not like doubling the impact of stats that you get on a two-handed weapon. So, whereas, I mean, I've seen it be slightly higher, but this is what I've seen. So if we're talking about spell power, okay, I can get a one-handed weapon and get, let's say, 25 spell power on it, and then the offhand weapon gets 25 spell power on it. That's like 50, right? if the same item level two-handed staff, I got that, it might give me 30. And so now I'm getting more spell power from an offhand, you know, wielding an offhand, and the ability that I get for having a two-hander, that let's say the ice staff that charges up a bunch of icicles. It's in an area, shotgun blast or whatever. It's not reasonably, you know, large enough or strong enough for me to care about. So what is the point at all? Currently, there's not much of one, and I think that the way to add variety for casters would be to make those two-handed weapon abilities more significant. What do we got? Oh, here we go. Warcry, second win, rank 2. Much as I hate not taking the other one when I see it, I need that, man. We need to be able to heal. So ultimately, this game is pushing into the concepts, into the genre that is build options, you know, that Diablo, Path of Exile. It's trying to dip its toes there, and I love that it is. Crackshell, great idea. This should be the future of your game. We love that concept, but in order for that to happen, you need viable build variety, which means you can't let certain things be completely overpowered and other things just not work at all. There's only one way to skin a cat. All of the other options become an illusion of choice, or even worse, a trap for bad players. You know, you go, oh, I know that guy sucks because he didn't turn off his combo. I made one of my other mage builds and forgot to turn off my combo, and yeah, I got reminded of that real quick because yeah, it was a bad choice. I should not have taken something that the game gave me, which was designed to be good, but is in fact actually bad. It's less beneficial for me to have it. That's poor design mistake. It's okay. I'm all right with see that blackjack? We'll take the blackjack. We run into stuff a lot on this character, and getting that stun gives us a little bit of extra time to get totems set up. So I think it's worthwhile. I think that because of the size of Crackshell Studio, it's small. You know, I think we all need to cut them a little bit of slack, give them some time. They are putting out a balancing patch about every 6-7 days. I think that's very respectable for the size of team that they have. And I want to see this genre of game, I want to see it grow and flourish. I think there's a lot here. We can see, you know, a future where we have more classes and more builds. And with the other Hammerwatch, they ended up releasing like the Gladiator and Witch Hunter and stuff like that. There's so much that can be done here, and these guys need to be able to see that their game is respected and people are willing to pay for it. Time is worthwhile. They can have a genre here that people want to play. I think that the other problem is, you know, how to make New Game Plus, I don't want to say more exciting, but yeah, I mean, just to some extent, I guess maybe that is the right way to say it. New Game Plus, as it stands right now, is sort of just like the big dogs are just kind of measuring themselves against each other. Like, I got up to New Game 20. That's kind of how it was for a long time, and really, If it stays that's fine. But I think that there should be some elements of the game which evolve past a certain point. Right? Man, so we are getting slaughtered by the Harbingers. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, we really need... I'm already out of potions. They gotta do me like that. Whack, 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 whack. It's just not enough damage, man. It's not enough. Now I gotta feel bad. I'm gonna make a thumbnail and be like, this is the best warrior class type in the game. Come and watch my video. You're gonna learn something new. And then I'm getting whacked on the third boss. Oh. I mean, if I play conservatively, I will speak to this. Very effective tank, right? I mean, look at how I haven't used any potions here. I just decided to stop playing stupid. I'm actually moving and using my heal when I can, and it's working. Yeah, I'm chunking them down. It's what you would expect on a actual tank style character. Just have to make Chaos Orbits nice. They just have to make tanking a respectable profession. People have to want it. The multi-game options need to be something that attracts people. Glacial Strike. Yeah, more chances for that is great. And we'll do that. I think multiplayer should... There should be certain things that can be gained in multiplayer which can't be found or are very rarely found in single player. Perhaps a crafting mechanism that you can get other types of resources, and with said resources, ew, we really hate being silenced. Yeah. Oh gosh. With these resources, build in town, like actually craft, kind of World of Warcraft style, epic level weapons, armor. Currently, you can't. There are no purples. And come on, man, where's my purples? I gotta have purples. In a game like this, telling me the best that I can get right now is blues. All right, man, I gotta be decked out in purples. And I think that'd be a great thing to do, because if they're gonna fix strength as a viable option, you know, they're gonna make tanking and standing up to punishment an actual design of the game. Some classes can just stand up to it. Then if they're not going to do a ton of damage, but they are going to be able to stand up to punishment, there needs to be an avenue where that matters. And it's not going to matter in solo play, because why would you choose the spec that can stand up to massive amounts of punishment, but it takes forever to run the run by yourself? You would not choose that willingly. You'll choose the one that moves the quickest and does the most damage. But if you needed to coordinate with other players, and all of a sudden tanking was really worthwhile because you could have your warrior or your paladin step up into the mucky muck and stand there and tank it, so that you could beat these big bosses and stuff. Well, that would make it worthwhile, and it would passively add massive value to the to the classes that are designed to tank. That's what they should do. That's my 2 cents on it. More combo types. Epic weapon crafting. Mentioned it in my last video. I think that there should be an additional ability or mechanic added to every boss that only comes into play when you have 3 or 4 people in the game at the same time, so that bosses can have some sort of mechanic that is designed to be played by a team. You know, like the kind where you have to make one guy go stand on a lever or stand on a switch, and you have to communicate and coordinate that some way. Or you have the boss, you know, like the Harbingers of Dread, say on their halfway through their life, they all of a sudden, if they're right next to each other, they double their damage. You have to tank them in 2 different places, keep them apart from each other. Well, there you go. Now you have something where you need to have some sort of intelligent thought as you're fighting them. Maybe a tank and an off tank. Those types of mechanics would bring a lot to the game. And obviously, you know, I'm an armchair idea guy. I'm not a game coder. I don't know how much, you know, of an ask that some of this stuff really is. It could be a really difficult thing that I'm asking for, but it seems so simple, right? Some of the stuff that I'm talking about, it seems simple. Please let me speak so I may war cry. My goodness. Main silencing. We hate that. Stop that nonsense. The heals are great with this cooldown ability and getting a reset. I mean, we still don't have any potions, boys. We're just look at that, man. Yeah, the heals are great. This is a very viable, at least at new game +2 or 1 or whatever I'm at. Do not silence me. I can't take it. Oops. Oh. Please give me something great. Yeah, that's cool. Damage taken reduced by 10. I mean, that's such a good ability. But I'm not doing enough damage. I gotta kill stuff. Run. Where are my totems? I have enough mana to be willy-nilly. I want to go up there. Is this where we die? I think I can smell my own doom. Hala 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 la la. Ah! Please. No. See, if my totems would tank, if they had to like stop and start punching on it for a little while, that would that'd be worthwhile, right? Yeah. Also, I think there should be some interplay with your totems and your war cry. I think if you war cry on top of your totems, it should massively increase their proc speed. Get faster. That way you have a reason to fight near your totems instead of trying to set them up in like cheese corn. Not really a fun way to play the game, if I'm honest. Corner cheesing on a... We gotta go get that potion. Corner cheesing on a tank class does not... Right? And all of those totems should be doing devastating damage. They do well. They're okay. Not nothing. Just not enough to justify what you lose by not playing caster. This group already be dead. Twice over. With an evoker. Twice. Also, penetration, like elemental penetration, it needs work. It just doesn't need to be anything fancy. It just needs to be better. It needs to really matter if you take, 50 to 100, 200 pen on a sorcerer, and you're running a fire build. That needs to be enough so that you can jack up the fire motes, the wisps in the final level. It needs to be enough. The fact that it's not right now, and that the biggest problem is for any elementally focused sorcerer build right now is that last level, you all of a sudden have to slow down to a crawl, make it through there. And that's, I think, currently the biggest reason why I'm actually pushing much more effectively on all of my on my evoker as opposed to my other class, is because even though I have fire damage from, I'm not taking fireball at all, so I'm just using rain of fire or meteor, and let's. Yeah, I'll take ability, and sure, I'll take two. Are there any? Try to get the shadow curse. Having the arcane missiles means that there is a non-elemental option for damage. Significant. So. Cheesed on the spawn. I expect that this fight is going to take a while. These guys move a lot. They'll place totems near them. Decide to still. I think that I needed to care more about the build to make it work. Underestimated. Significant. Take my way. War cry. Got potions. Blast through them. Do. It hit. Not me. Thanks. Man, I gotta play caster run after this just to cleanse the palate. How am I gonna release this video and tell y'all anything other than freaking Primalist Warrior is dog water? You watched this far, forgive the thumbnail bait. This is not good. Not good enough. And we don't have like really good other options. The next one I'll do, I'll try to look into that dexterity build that people are running Berserker plus maxing vitality and not even caring about strength. I'll try that. At least until Crack Shelf fixes their stuff. Look at that. Y'all are making me drink so many potions. They gave me an achievement for it. The game feels bad for me. Like, thank you. Thank you for the achievement. That was cool. So, they're so good, guys. They're so good. See, the thing about it was how I played was not good. We can do better than that. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, at least. I would wait until they fix some stuff, honestly. Maybe I'll label this video a conversation about what needs. I don't know. Thank you, guys. Been the dad experience. I'll try to put out another video with a better run where I'm actually slapping booty. Take care.